Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Master Division qualifying round edition here for the Whitecliff 9-hole cup in Golf Clash the game. Before we start, make sure that you do hit that thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. You can get the ultimate tournament guides qualifying round only on patreon.com/golfclashtommy for this 9-hole cup. We won't make anything for the final round, so have that in mind. But obviously getting your package today will make you also ready for the upcoming Eastern Classics tournament starting the 10th of May. Follow the info box on the right hand side to find the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that everything that I do suggest are just that. They are suggestions. You don't have to follow them. But there is always a plan behind it. If you have any questions, make sure that you do comment in the comment section below, or that you send an email to support@golfclashtommy.com. So, enough talking about this, and let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we're going to do a very simple drive. You can see that I haven't touched the target at all yet, and I'm going to keep it that way until I'm going to take my shot. 7 bars of topspin, 1.5 bar side spin to the right, and I do play with a power 3 wind 4 ball. You can see that I didn't even adjust for this shot. I just went to go 1 ball of curl to the right and max overpower, and then I play a power slice. And you will see that this ball is going to come down extremely nicely here on the second fairway, and that is exactly what we want to do. We want to be somewhere between 410 to 420 yards to be, in an ultimate position for the second shot. So that was with a 10 miles per hour. If you do have a lower wind, you need to adjust to the left. So let's say that you have a 9 miles per hour wind, you adjust 1 ring to the left. So for every 0.1 less in wind, you do adjust 0.1 extra to the left. If you do have a higher wind, you adjust 0.1 extra to the right. This to make sure that we're not going to struggle by, having the first bounce directly into the rough and stuff like that. And I would say like this, you will have a lot of margin for this shot as well. So even if you have a slight lower wind and you forget to adjust, you will still be fine. What we're looking for here now for the second shot, to simplify this as much as possible, is to go for a rough bump. 3 bars of side spin to the right, and I will be playing with 6.8 bars of topspin. And have in mind that that is from the 415 yard mark. If we do have a ball that comes up to 425, you will have to go up and play with more than 7 bars of topspin. The important part is to keep the 3 side spin to the right and have the ball guideline to the hole with your short iron. 53% slider is what I'm using, which is just slightly more than medium distance of my club, and I use 10% elevation, power 3 ball settings. Adjust is made, and then we're going to take our shot. Very important that you do center the ball as usual to maximize the chance for a drop. Perfect ball bounces into the rough and it rolls down towards the pin. Why do I play a rough bump instead of playing on the fairway? The reason I do that is because then we are minimizing the effect of the wind after the first bounce, and that is so important to bring consistency to drops, especially in a situation like this with a tough crosswind. And have in mind, the Falcon can be played up to level 6 in my opinion, and other than that, if you do play have a very low level Falcon, you can go with the Runner, which also does have a lot of topspin and can be a very helpful complement if you don't have the Falcon to play with here on hole number 1. Hole number 2, I'm going to play with a side spin 2 wind 5 ball. Have in mind that I do play with a power 1 ball, but I have suggested a power 2 ball in the info box, and I will explain why once we have taken the shot here. 2 bars of side spin to the left, 1.5 bar backspin. Ball guideline should be through the hole with top of the yellow ring by the rough line. This is with a quarterback, which means that even if you don't have the quarterback 10 and maybe play quarterback 9, you will have no issues here at all. No pull angle is what I'm looking for, so just a straight pull. and we are going to adjust medium distance with a 30% over adjustment. Power 4 ball settings have that in mind. So power 4 ball settings, medium distance with a 30% over adjustment. Perfect ball, and we bounce, we like the camera angle, and this one is going to roll and drop right side of cup. And that makes sense because we have the highest possible win there, which is 8.6 with a win 5 ball. The reason I do suggest a power 2 ball instead of a power 1 ball is due to the fact that if you do have a bad wind angle, which has a little bit more headwind and crosswind, then you may go in between clubs with a power 1 ball and high wind. So make sure that that's not going to happen. Then we play with a power 2 side spin 2 ball, which is the Aurora for an example, or the NASCAR, or the Frozen ball, or yeah, there's plenty of them. For hole number 3, we have a tough wind, and this hole is really tough just in general, even with tailwind. So here we are going to play it as safe as we can and make sure that we are not messing up the eagle. And sure, we're gonna have a chance for an albatross, even though that chance is going to be slim. Start at +5, red ring by the rough line with a POC 7 and a POC 8. A POC 5 and a POC 6 start with half of the red ring inside the rough to the left. 7 bars of topspin, 2 bars of side spin to the left, and I play with a luminary ball, which is a power 5, wind 3, side spin 2, which is the same as the Bubba ball if you do have that one. If you do only have 1 bar of side spin on your ball, but a wind 3 power 5, then you add just a click more curl to compensate for the less side spin that you do have. That could be like if you have the relic ball, you can have the meteor ball, you can have, there is so many of those wind side spin 1 power 5 wind 3 balls. You can see that I did hit a great left, and that's why I feel that the curl that is displayed here in the video is a little bit too little. So I would recommend to go with approximately 1.7 to 2 balls of curl to the left of the adjustment ring. But in the end though, we should have been safe with a perfect there, but we want to have it safe for a great left, for a great right, and for a perfect. Max +10 is the adjustment as well, needs to be said. Second shot, we're going to play here with our sniper. I'm gonna start by adding 5 bars of topspin. So we start with that, and once we have done that, we're gonna have the ball guideline to the hole. The ball guideline is a little bit glitchy, but that's, you know, how it is on this hole, unfortunately. This is no, like, massive albatross attempt, but it is an albatross attempt. The problem with the second shot is that the speed is hard to control. We're either going to come in with a good speed, or it's gonna come in hot as to catch a downslope roll close to green. From the +4 yard mark, I do adjust approximately 70-72% slider if I'm not mistaken. However though, when watching this video afterwards, I would estimate the adjustment from +4 to be 63% slider with a 10% over adjustment, power 5 ball settings. Again, I'm not expecting this one to drop for us that much, so I'm just want to play this one safe, but based on the test that I did, and based on the result here in the video, that is my estimation to play with 63% slider. Then I know with a perfect that we will be close, but in the end, a bonus, like a drop here, is going to be a massive bonus. Hole number 4, this is going to be a tough one, and I've chosen here to play with a power 0 wind 5 ball. Here I'm looking to have half of the blue ring inside the rough, with the second bounce into the dark green square row, and also the third bounce just before the bunker, before spin. Trying to make it as simple as possible, even though that's obviously going to be tough. 4.5 bar backspin, and 2.8 bars of side spin to the right is what I'm using here. I have a very low window, and that is something that I will mention in the end, what we can actually do for that. Maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, power 2 ball settings. We are going to be very close to minimum distance club, so make sure that you play with a power 0 wind 5 ball, because a power 1 wind 5 ball will most of the times go in between clubs, so that's obviously a problem. Bouncing on the fairway, getting it down here towards the green, and we have a very good speed, just missed left of the pin. This is one of the tougher par 3s there is to drop an hole in one, in my opinion, because the drop, like the drop from the first pad to the second pad is massive, and the wind is going to push that ball big time, and that's why we play max instead of min, even though we are very close to min distance. So don't take this for an hole-in-one route. If you drop the hole-in-one, it's going to be a bonus. You are going to be close with this shot, and you may drop it a time or two. But again, this is going to be a par 3 that we're just going to have to leave for what it is. And if you don't have a power 0 win 5 ball, I would recommend to play with a regular power 3 ball and play with your cataclysm or your sniper and bounce down the ball towards the pin. But here we play with a win 5 ball, and then this is the suggestion I have for you. Super duper boring hole number 5, and here we only play for an eagle. There isn't even a chance for an albatross, so don't even think about it. So we're gonna play this one as safe as we can. I'm gonna use 7 bars of topspin, 2 bars of side spin to the left, which is going to be possible then to completely be applied by Apocalypse 6 plus. If you do have Apocalypse level 5, you're gonna have to add a little bit more overpower than what I will do in the end due to the less topspin. So, 7 bars of top spin, 2 bars of side spin to the left. My only focus here is the ball guideline to go center down the fairway. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 10, and I will make sure to keep an eye on how much I do adjust into overpower. It's going to be approximately 2 rings of overpower, and that's what we do want to do. Make sure that you focus a lot here, because you do not want to hit a bad great left. A minor great right like here is going to be fine, but again, a bad great left is most likely going to be danger. Obviously, a bad great right or a good right will obviously be danger as well. That rollout that I did get there in the end is exactly what we want, but that's not going to happen every single time, so please have that in mind. But if we do get the rollout, or if we don't get the rollout, we're going to play the exact same type of shot for the second shot. Max topspin, and here you have a massive advantage if playing with a big boy club like the Cataclysm level 8, like I'm doing here, because the more topspin you have, the less overpower you're going to have to go, especially with a longer drive like we have. So, we do aim for the ball guideline to go center on the fairway in between the rough on the left and the bunker on the right. In the video, I do adjust max, no elevation, and then you can see that I go approximately 2.5 ring into overpower. So what I will do here now is that I will be playing with 4 rings of overpower. Sorry, 4.5 rings of overpower is what I'm focusing about, at least. I think I got a little bit too little there. But the ball comes up there nicely, but you can see how close we are to the rough, and that's why I do suggest in the info box max plus 10 for the second shot, so we're not gonna get that close to the rough line. If you do have a short drive that is going to be just below 400 yards, then you will have to go max overpower regardless. And it's most likely going to be that you're going to have to go max overpower on the second shot with, you know, with a long drive like I had, but you have a lower level cataclysm. So this one is extremely difficult, and you will see many of your opponents miss this eagle here. Don't push it too hard, be safe, lay up for a wedge if possible by the green instead of trying to push it to be on green, and just get the eagle and be done with it and go to hole 6. For hole number 6, we are playing a no movement drive, which means that we are not going to touch the target until it's time to adjust the rings. So we're gonna play with 7 bars of topspin, and we're gonna play with 2 bars of side spin to the left. And the ball that I'm using is a Centurion. You can also play with a Kingslayer, yeah. And then you have superstar ball or something like that. There is plenty of balls that do have the stats that we're looking for here. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 20, and here you can notice that we are going to go into overpower, and that is totally fine because we will add max overpower to our shot. We will also add curl. You can see here that I'm having the left side of the ball just outside the adjustment ring to the left. If you want to hit a great ball, you rather want to hit a great left than you want to hit a great right. But even if you would be hitting a good right and going to the rough or sand on the right hand side, you will have no problem to reach for the green in 2. Now, as this is no linear hole that we're playing, we are going to use the plus yardage on our short iron when setting up this shot. You can see here that the plus yardage enters there, and we are in +1. So from +1, I'm gonna use 3 bars of side spin to the right, no backspin, no topspin whatsoever. And you can see here that I'm mixing around a little bit, but will eventually go with 3 bars of side spin. So always keep the 3 bars of side spin, and once you have set that up, you will in that case look at the plus yardage that you do have, which in this case is +1. And from the +1, we're going to play, now I need to cross check here so I'm not saying anything wrong. We're gonna play 81% slider, which in this case is going to be 10 rings with the Falcon level 8. So when you play with Falcon level 7, you will have to add 4% slider to your adjustment. And 10% elevation needs to be set as well. Perfect ball, and you will see this ball bounce on the fairway, up on the green, and roll not right at pin, but right side of the cup for a nice little drop. So in the video, I didn't play exactly 81% slider to have that in mind. 81% slider is with adding 0.1, as I felt dropping right side cup needed 0.1 extra. So 81% slider is correct, even though we drop it right hand side there of the hole. If you do have a great right on the drive, you will most likely end up to have no plus yardage at all to use. Then you will have to somewhat estimate yourself to see what type of slider you're going to play. So there we do have it. Good chance on hole number 6. We move on to hole number 7, which is also a super duper tough par 3 to get any consistent hole-in-ones at. We do have half of the red ring inside the rough to the left in complete max distance with a power 0 ball. If you do not have any power 0 side spin 3 balls win 5, then you can change to a power 1 ball instead. Adjustment here, you can see, isn't even listed in the info box, and that's because we're playing with probably the highest elevation I've ever played with, which is 85%. Yes, 85. So max plus 85 power 3 ball settings. We play with 3 bars of side spin to the right, 5.2 bars of backspin, and then having the right side of the ball just outside the adjustment ring to the right. And you can see here that the ball comes in with a beautiful speed, and we just missed high. And here we could be good to add just a tiny click more curl to that type of shot. But this is like the same as hole number 4 for me. I know I'm going to be semi-close every single time when playing this shot, but I'm not going to spend that much time, and I'm not going to be frustrated if this shot is going to miss. But again, you can play with a power 1 side spin 3 ball here if you want to, because then you can just make a ball swap. But make sure to start with a power 0 ball to find complete max distance, half of the red ring inside the rough, and again max plus 85 in club distance and elevation. For hole number 8, we're going to play in headwind, and therefore I go with a power 4 wind 4 ball, and I'm going to play with 5.5 bar topspin and start just before the +1 yard mark. Ball guideline should point straight down the center of the next fairway pad. If you do not have any power 4 wind 4 ball, you can play with a power 4 wind 3 ball as well. The only thing that you will have to have in mind there is that you may go into overpower, and then obviously you need to apply the overpower that you do adjust into, otherwise you will fall short, and that's going to be a problem for the second shot. Perfect ball, and you see here the ball rolls down the fairway nicely, and we're looking to be around 345 yards to be at the perfect spot. Second shot is going to be here one thing important to start with, and that is that you do have the Grizzly packed. And that you do before you play this hole, and the reason is to find complete minimum distance in as easy way possible. Now this is a replay, but you can see there that I'm finding the min distance line in a very nice and simple way. That you won't be doing with the B52 or the Goliath, so make sure once again to play with the Grizzly as the long iron. Right side, sorry, 1 bar of right spin, then I apply backspin to have the ball guideline just go slightly through the hole. It's gonna be somewhere between no to 1 bar of backspin. Once that is done, we shall adjust, and we shall adjust from minimum distance with a 10% over adjustment power 3 ball settings. So no power 4 here, even though we play with a power 4 ball, so you play with a power 3 ball settings instead. Perfect ball. And we'll see this ball bounce beautifully on the fairway. We love when the camera does like this. And we drop this one right side cup. And I will take it because this is a tough hole. And you may be wondering, why does it show a birdie? That's why that's because I timed out on the second shot, trying to find a good line for us all. And that's why it shows a birdie. But tough one on hole number 8, but definitely makeable if you can hit the snipe perfect from mid-distance club. Before we take a look at hole number 9, you will notice me taking advantage of a thing in Golf Clash that isn't happening that often, but hole 9 of White Cliff is most definitely hole that we can take that into our repertoire, especially when we do have tailwind. My goal here is to get the ball down to the final fairway pad before the green. But that's not going to happen every single time, because you can somewhat have a very low wind, you can have a bad wind angle, but it's still worth taking that chance, because the worst case we're going to have there is that we're going to be into the rough. So quickly here now, max topspin with whatever Apocalypse that you do have. Obviously an advantage if you play with Apocalypse level 7 or level 8. You can see here that I aim at the top of that cliff, aiming towards that first bush. And that is for a 17-mile-per-hour wind. Max overpower, left side of the ball outside the adjustment ring to the left, and try to hit perfect. And now I know that this first bounce will be into the rough, second bounce as well, and then I'm hoping for a rollout. This wind angle that I have here with the 17 miles per hour is the crosswind angle. With a tailwind angle for the drive, we will reach no problem to bounce out onto the fairway. And also with the crosswind angle, with a higher wind like a 17.5 or more, then you will also reach down to the fairway pad. Again, we need to be a little bit lucky, but that's at least the plan and the possibility. If you do have a higher wind than 17 miles per hour, you need to move right at the initial aim spot that we do have, because obviously higher wind will push more left, and you need to compensate by moving a little bit more right. If you have a lower wind, keep the same landing position, but increase the curl a little bit, because we want to take advantage of aiming high up on that hill, so we do gain all the distance possible. If you do go into the rough here, you know, look at this rough iron, super duper simple, and you know, there is a chance for an albatross here. Not if your name is Tommy and play this shot though, because then you hit a great left and you're gonna miss by miles. But 20% elevation is what I'm using here, trying to be true club distance, but I do under adjust this, even though I do hit a great left. So this is the route that I choose in the qualifying round, because in a worst case scenario here with the drive, regardless of if you hit good left or good right or whatever, you're still going to get yourself a nice eagle on a tough par 5, because playing the left side route, trying to lay up using curl and topspin and stay away from the rough is not going to be easy at all, because you're also going to have some headwind for the second shot if I'm not reading the wind angle incorrect there, and that's going to be difficult to do a good rough bump, especially with limited amount of attempts. So this is the route for me to play, and I feel that this is going to secure a safe eagle, but give myself, if I'm having being a bit lucky, a very good chance for an albatross with my falcon, or thorn, or whatever short arrow you're using. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for the qualifying round Master Edition here for the White Cliff 9-hole cup. And my focus here for this has to be to make it as simple as possible for you that are watching. I've been using some free-to-play balls, I've been using some premium balls as well, to try to mix it up a little bit as well for those of you that are watching this playthrough, trying to dial in some shots. But have in mind that White Cliffs are a very difficult course, and everyone that has ever played this course on T12 that is also on T12 at the moment can attest to that this, you know, the par 3s are not par 3s that we regularly hole in one, and the par 4s, sure, we have some opportunities, but they are still gonna be tough, and the par 5s is basically eagle holes in general. So please have that in mind when you play, and don't be too frustrated if it doesn't go your way. I hope that you step up, and I hope you test out Master, because in a 9-hole cup, the qualifying score is not going to be as strong as it normally is. You can get the ultimate tournament guide qualifying round edition. We won't do anything for the final round, but we will bundle in the qualifying round edition into our Patreon packages, so make sure that you get your package, and obviously then you will be ready for the next 18-hole tournament that comes up start the 10th of May. Thank you once again for watching, and a good luck in your Golf Clash game.